The systemic betrayal of injured workers, immigrants, and pain patients. Silence, hypocrisy, and a path forward introduction for years. The debate over capitalism and socialism has shaped America's policies and identity. But as injured workers, immigrants, and pain patients continue to suffer under a broken system, it's clear that neither pure capitalism nor pure socialism alone can address the nation's most pressing challenges. Instead, we must seek a balance, one where capitalism drives innovation and ambition, while socialist principles ensure no one is left behind. In this framework, silence from political leaders, unions, faith organizations, and even progressive voices is not just complicity, it is betrayal. The systemic failures in workers' compensation, healthcare, and immigration reform highlight the need for a new approach, one rooted in accountability, justice, and collective care. Listen to Bridge Across America, a song that bridges capitalism and socialism, ambition and compassion, in true folk rock spirit. Let's unite for a balanced America. Listen now, Part 1. The failure of workers' compensation systems, a broken promise. Since 2003, 33 states have passed laws reducing workers' compensation benefits, leaving injured workers to suffer. In Alabama, a worker who loses an arm receives just $48,000, compared to over $740,000 in Georgia. In California, insurers use doctors who never examine patients to deny care in 91% of disputed claims. Washington State, a false success story. Senator Marco Elias touts Washington's workers' compensation system as a model for its low costs and business-friendly climate. But this narrative hides a reality where injured workers are rushed into inadequate settlements, with insurers profiting from denied care. No federal oversight without federal standards. Workers' compensation systems vary widely, creating disparities that harm workers while enriching insurers. States codify systemic abuse by failing to police doctors who lie to deny claims, directly profiting insurers. Part 2. The war on pain patients. Fueling the opioid crisis, crackdowns on legitimate pain management have driven patients toward dangerous alternatives like fentanyl, exacerbating the opioid epidemic. This war on pain patients prioritizes insurer savings over effective care. Medical marijuana denials in states with recreational marijuana. Workers and pain patients are still denied access to medical marijuana under workers' compensation systems. This hypocrisy forces patients into expensive and less effective treatments, protecting pharmaceutical profits. State-sanctioned abuse. States empower insurers to override physicians' recommendations, denying necessary treatments. This systemic oppression leaves pain patients untreated or labeled as addicts, compounding their suffering. Part 3. America's economic identity crisis. The balance between capitalism and socialism. Capitalism drives innovation, ambition, and economic growth. But it also creates inequality and leaves many struggling without safety nets. Socialist principles, embedded in programs like Social Security and Medicare, provide stability and ensure that economic misfortune does not lead to ruin. Complementary systems. Rather than seeing capitalism and socialism as opposing forces, they can coexist to create a balanced society where ambition is rewarded and basic human needs are protected. Bridge Across America, a folk rock anthem that envisions a balanced America where capitalism fuels growth and socialism ensures no one is left behind. Listen here. Part 4. The betrayal of political leaders. National inaction. Senator Bernie Sanders, Patty Murray, and Tom Perez have spoken about workers' rights, but failed to follow through on creating federal oversight for workers' compensation. Rep. Rick Larson ignored repeated constituent calls to fight for injured workers and pain patients, choosing corporate alliances over advocacy. Progressive leaders silence Kshama Sawant, despite her socialist platform, prioritizes local issues like tax Amazon while neglecting federal labor protections. Her alignment with the DRS group, which prioritizes ideological goals over practical human rights, has stifled meaningful reform. Jason Call, now a Green Party candidate, dismissed federal workers' issues, focusing solely on Medicare for all. Part 5. Unions' complicity. Failing their mandate. Washington State Labor Council leaders Larry Brown and April Sims refused to advocate for federal standards, with Brown dismissing injured workers. You're getting a pension, Isn't that enough? United Steelworkers Local 12 to 591 endorsed Rick Larson despite his failures, prioritizing political alliances over workers' rights. Part 6. Faith Leaders and Journalists Silence Faith Leaders in Action. Rev. William Barber, Rev. Al Sharpton, and Rev. Jesse Jackson. While advocating for economic justice, they have ignored the plight of injured workers, immigrant families, and pain patients. Pope Francis, despite his global influence, has remained silent on systemic oppression within U.S. healthcare and labor. Journalists who should speak: Chris Hedges, Tom Hartman, Randy Rhodes, and Robert Reich have the platforms to educate the masses, but have largely ignored the interconnected struggles of injured workers, pain patients, and immigrants. Part 7. The Cost of Silence. Human toll. Over 4,600 workers die annually on the job, and millions live with disabilities caused by workplace injuries. Pain patients face untreated suffering or dangerous alternatives like fentanyl. Immigrant families endure detention, separation, and systemic abuse in a system designed for profit. Economic inequality. The reliance on trickle-down economics exacerbates inequality, funneling wealth to corporations while dismantling protections for workers and patients. Part 8. Demands for action. Immediate steps. National Workers' Compensation Commission. Establish federal standards to protect injured workers and ensure accountability for negligent doctors and insurers. End the war on pain patients. Ensure access to legitimate pain management, including medical marijuana, and hold insurers accountable for denying necessary care. Immigration reform. Pass the Families United Act and dismantle the private detention system. Hold leaders accountable. Demand action from Senator Marco Elias, Rep. Rick Larson, Rep. Mary Foss, and Kshama Sawant. Call out the silence of influential journalists, including Chris Hedges, Tom Hartman, and others, who must use their platforms to expose these injustices. Conclusion. The silence surrounding workers' compensation, healthcare, and immigrant rights reflects a deeper crisis in America's economic identity. We must move beyond divisive debates over capitalism and socialism and instead seek a balanced approach that protects the vulnerable while fostering innovation and growth. This is a call to action for all Americans. Demand justice, expose hypocrisy, and refuse to accept silence as the status quo. Workers, pain patients, and immigrant families deserve dignity, respect, and basic human rights. In solidarity and peace, Darren R. Fonzseau.
We've got towers reaching high in the city of dreams, where ambition runs wild and the lights all gleam. But down by the river, there's a place we all know, where folks lend a hand when the going gets slow. It's a land of freedom, it's a land of care, built by the hands of those who dare. So let's build a new bridge across America's soul, where the drive to succeed meets the heart of us all. From the bustling streets to the open hands, we'll find our way together, we'll take a stand. There's a safety net for those who fall, and a chance to rise when we give it our all. It's not us versus them, but a path we share, a land of promise, a world that's fair. In the push and pull, we're stronger as one, holding the line till the work gets done. So let's build a bridge across America's soul, where the drive to succeed meets the heart of us all. From the field to home to the city lights, we'll walk together through dark and light. one, holding the line till the work gets done. So let's build all the bridges across America's shores, where ambition meets compassion, making us whole from every heartland town to the city's calm. United we stand, together we'll stand.